Hey, so this is the Entertainment Advice channel. So what I want to talk about today is part 2 of the video I posted yesterday, which was the top 5 ways we can improve lyrics. So for this video, I'm going to skip the last 2 points of what needs to be done in order to make lyrics better. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the 4th point, okay, of how we can make lyrics better again, is to also do something which I refer to as extending the chorus, okay? Because the truth of the matter is when it comes to a chorus, okay, when you're listening to music, okay, and usually every song has on average of 3 choruses, in other words, chorus parts, if you're familiar with music, the basic song structure, okay? There's the verse, there's the chorus, there's the verse, there's the chorus, there's the bridge, the chorus, basic shit like that. There's at least, on average, 3 choruses for a song, okay? And when it comes to the average of 3 choruses for a song, okay, in order to make it sound more enjoyable to people, for listeners, one thing that definitely is very true about a lot of songs, sometimes at least if anything, is that for each of the main choruses, okay, they don't repeat the lyrics enough, okay? Because when you really want to make a song enjoyable to listen to, and instead of just coming off the truth of the matter is when you make music that's meant for people, it's meant to be enjoyable, okay? It's as enjoyable as possible, okay? And one of the things that makes it more enjoyable as possible is when you have a chorus part, each of the main of the 3 chorus parts, whatever, you should repeat the lyrics at least 3 times, okay? Which usually is, of course, the title of the song, okay? The lyrics for the chorus, okay? Because when you repeat the chorus, the title of the song at least 3 times, it makes it more likely the song will be more enjoyable. Because when you repeat the lyrics over and over again, it creates a situation where it kind of hits different. It builds more energy, Because when you listen to a chorus, anyone who knows anything about music, any music casual music, listen to music, people don't know shit about music, will always tell you that the chorus is the most enjoyable part of a song. Because it builds energy in the way they repeat the lyrics over and over again for the chorus, makes it hit different, it builds energy, it really makes it enjoyable, whether it's just catchy or just makes it more exciting to listen to, whatever. The point is, it makes it more enjoyable, okay? So when it comes to making lyrics for songs better, definitely one of the most important things is to repeat for each chorus the lyrics of the song or whatever, the main lyrics for the chorus, whatever you like to say, at least 3 times over and over again. Because when you repeat the chorus at least 3 times over and over and over again, it helps make it hit different. Instead of just repeating it at least like 1 time or 2 times, it doesn't hit the same. It has at least these 3 times minimum, or even 4 times. Because the more you do it, it builds more energy and so on and so forth. So it's more enjoyable listening, okay? And that's honest truth here, okay? Because at the end of the day, whether your music is meant for just simply recreational purposes, like purely entertainment, or it has a bit of a deeper message, like politically, we still have to realize one thing about music no matter what, okay? It's meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to be pleasurable, whatever you like to say, but most of all, to sum it up, it's meant to be something that you like the experience of, okay? That is the honest truth, okay? So, regardless of what type of lyrics you have to create something that's people are actually going to listen to, okay? Because in the end of the day, no matter how you like to frame it, it's entertainment, okay? Even if it has some degree of a message, it's still entertainment anyway, so it has some degree of an enjoyment factor. So just saying, you're not to do that, or that's ignorant, that's showing that you want to be like all the people who are just making ignorant songs on the radio, which I know some people would say, it's very stupid and very silly, okay? Besides, at the end of the day, the more you do that, the more likely people will like the song, and as well, the more people like the song. Common sense 101, more people are actually going to listen to your song, and more people are not just going to listen to your song, more people are going to like it, and as a result, it helps, people message. Either way, it's going to draw more people's attention. Which, whatever your motive is, it benefits everybody, and that's the honest truth. Okay, you know, whether the person who's just interested in making songs for entertainment or the person who's making songs for political reasons, it benefits any of those two sides. Okay, because people are actually going to listen to your music, and as a result, it's going to get your message across there. Whether you're motivated more by fame and fortune, or just making the world a better place, either way, it benefits everyone, and that's the honest truth here. So in short, simply put it, do this and it'll help make your music sound better, because it'll make it more enjoyable. And that's all the truth here, okay? And that's my fourth point. Okay? Now that's down to the fifth point, last point, is have a good balance between everyday and luxury living. Now this is a very big one and relates a lot particularly to rap, of course. You know, as usual, you know, rap does, you know, let's just say has a history of having toxicity to it when it comes to the message of it, and of course, you know, the haters outside of it, let's be honest, most of them hate rap, you know, because they just don't like black people, which I'm not going to go too much into the history of it, but either way, the point is, a lot of people do not like rap, okay, so, you know, and just in general, more so, rap has a lot of toxicity to it, so this one mostly applies to rap, but even aside from rap, this is definitely something other genres have an issue with, like electronic, like EDM music, or even pop music has an issue with as well, okay, which is having a little bit and luxury, okay? Now this one, to answer your question, is definitely something that's going to be controversial as well, but it's definitely something that needs to be discussed, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, contrary to what most people would believe, both of these things are actually important, okay? But sometimes you want music that's relatable, you know, to people, you know, on an everyday level, because it's enjoyable, it hits different, it relates to your personal experience. Maybe instead of having somebody on like a massive, like 5-star vacation, and like just chilling in a car, you know, vibing with people, because as we all know, not everyone wants rich, but at the same time, you also want to have something that sells a luxury, you know, like how would it be like if I was rich, how, you know, and so on and so forth. Like you want something to give a fantasy, okay? And not only does it make it interesting to people because they're exposed to life they're not able to actually experience, it also plays the role when it comes to promoting luxury living, in all honesty as well, no shit. It also helps build character development, and as a result makes the stories more interesting to people, okay? Because wouldn't it be boring if you just had an artist who just made music, who just talked about being a struggle but never rose higher? Because having a character who's at the bottom and rises higher is something referred to as character development, which makes the story, you know, like the character he plays as a rapper, he is, of course, you know, more interesting. If it's just about, you know, he's just always in a struggle, that gets kind of boring over time. You need somebody to sometimes rise, you know, if not all the time for that matter, to make his story more interesting. If he's at the bottom here and now it's at the top here, it makes his story way more interesting, you know, and that's honest truth. So the point is that both of these things have a purpose, okay? But like anything, there has to be a balance between the two, because the truth is, you want to hear this all the time talking about everyday living, all that in all honesty, to be quite blunt and honest with you, that'd get boring, you know. I don't want to just be hearing songs about being me in the car and we're vibing with our friends and stuff, or doing this and doing that. That gets boring, you know, but at the same time, if I just hear music talking about living, which rap has been primarily guilty of, let alone mainstream music nowadays is guilty of, that gets kind of boring and unrelatable. Not all the time people want to just hear about luxury brands, clothing, cars and stuff. That gets boring as fuck sometimes too, and it's unrelatable. Like, kind of create issues with certain people, let's just be honest, might be, you know, a little bit more impressionable, okay? So the truth is, you have to have a balance between the two, because in the end of the day, whether we like to admit it, you know, as a society, music is supposed to be entertainment, okay? That's the main primary focus of it. It's not supposed to have some deep message that's going to make people think and so on and so forth. Like, that way of thinking is so fucking dumb. That goes all the way back to the 1960s, and that way of thinking is still existing today. Not all music has to be there. Not all music has to be against establishment and this and that. You know, because in the end of the day, what if there's something to fight against, okay? So the point is, okay? So as a result, you have to have people talking about luxury stuff, okay? And at the same time, you also have to have people talk about everyday stuff because it's relatable. So that is the honest truth, okay? So there has to be a balance between the two. And if there's a balance between the two, then it helps make music, you know, more enjoyable to people without there being one or two. Because in the end of the day, when it comes to music, there has to be something to sell that's more to make it more interesting. And that's the honest truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed it. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.